My girlfriend, 24F, is upset that I, 25 meters, have tattoos of my female friend. For this post I'll call my friend Julia. She passed away 5 years ago. She was my first and best friend growing up. Our families are close, so we have been friends since we were babies. There was no romantic feelings just a best friend, sister. We were big fans of pop punk, alt, emo music. Specifically this band called the Wonder Years. The last album she was alive to hear was their No Closer to Heaven album, and we both were no saviors if we can't save our brothers, tattooed on us. Which is a line said on a couple songs throughout the album. She died from a car accident. Saddest moment in my life was hearing that news. I have a lot of tattoos on both of my arms and back. I got her name tattooed with a heart around it and a date. That band has released 2 albums since Julia's death, and I have gotten lyrics that I feel like she would like the most tattooed. I've been dating my current girlfriend for the last 2 years and it's great. I love her a lot. We really work as a couple. She asked me why I have a Julia with a heart tattooed on me, and I understand why that would be off-putting. Like if she had Steve in a heart, I would be curious as well. I told her about it and she thought it was sweet, but over time I can tell whenever I take off my shirt and she sees that Julia tattoo, it irks her. Last week the Wonder Years released a new album and I got You're the Reason I Won't Want the World to End tattooed. She asked me about it and I told her about how I have gotten a tattoo for every album they have released since Julia's death. This got her really upset that I am getting cute lyrics tattooed for another woman. I told her that she was just my friend, but she is upset. The other lyric I have from the album before this is, "From the ground we look like lighting." She seems really put off by this and I don't know how to explain. Anytime I tell her about how deep our friendship was, she gets more upset. I want to mend this problem, but it also has me worried about future relationships now. Is this going to be a deal breaker in the future? Julia was my best friend and it was never romantic. She would make handcrafted necklaces and jewelry, and I have one of them hanging from my mirror in my car, and I don't think that is weird. My girlfriend is very understanding usually, so her reacting this way is new to me. It's making me wonder if doing this is a bad thing. Edit I have a lot of tattoos and tattoos for other friends that passed away as well, and just general tattoos. My back and arms are covered. Edit 2 I have a similar tattoo tradition with a male friend that overdosed in high school. Sometimes we need to look for our people. In some circles, that means finding people that enjoy similar pastimes as our own, so that we can be best friends as well as partners. Some people it means harboring a certain amount of jealousy, so that the other person consistently feels wanted. Some people it means having a respect for that which happened to build us up. You fit here. Some people it means putting the past behind in order to look forward together. Your girlfriend fits here. Your girlfriend thought your initial tattoo was fine. What she's worried about is that you'll never move past those feelings. To her, the memory is keeping you from looking forward. For you, it's about keeping memories alive so they never leave you as you move on. It's 2 different ways at looking at what the past can do to a person. Will there be people where this is a deal breaker? Look at the comments. Obviously so. Would it be a deal breaker to me or the people in my life? Absolutely not. We all stand on our experiences to take the next steps of life. But if you want to keep working on things with your girlfriend, you'll have to reconcile the 2 different ways that you look at the past, and that's some hard therapy work. Good luck. You need to sit down with her and ask if this is a deal breaker. Or you need to decide if it's a deal breaker. I don't think you can really fix this. You either stop and probably resent your GF for making you, or you keep going and she resents you for continuing too. I see both your points. Not native in English. But I try. I kinda understand her. Your GF feel like she is in Julia's shadow. She is supposed to be your life partner. But you keep holding on to someone she can't compete with. She is gone and you have made it clear no one can take her place. And to GF that tells her that she will never be the one. You have all the right to hold on to Julia, but your GF have all the right to be bothered by it. Emotions works like that. Just based on your comments, you seem adamant that these tattoos are important to you. That's perfectly fine. You don't seem too keen on understanding your GF's perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Though, people who see those lyrics will assume they're romantic. You don't, but others will, including GF. GF doesn't seem to be a die-hard fan of the band and probably isn't going to remember. Yes. That lyric about being just like lightning when they are together is actually about a drug overdose, suicide, or whatever it's about. I'm not a fan either. Quote, you can acknowledge that something is important to you, even if it's reasonably hurtful to someone else. Personally, I would have a hard time if a partner was getting romantic tattoo lyrics dedicated to someone while in a relationship. I probably wouldn't be with that person to begin with. You're not really doing anything wrong. But people in relationships have different boundaries around situations as nuanced as this. You should tell your GF if you have no intentions of stopping. That might end the relationship. But this is just an area of potential incompatibility. Best of luck. She's not likely to come around on this. That doesn't mean you are wrong, it just means you two may not be right for each other. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I see why your GF is annoyed. You are getting more and more tattoos with very sentimental lyrics for another woman. IDK, maybe you don't realize, but you probably are putting her on the back burner. Oh dude, I feel for you, but come on now. You're not going to find many people, male or female, who are okay with their partner getting frequent tattoos with romantic undertones for other people. I know you don't see them as romantic, but really, you have her name in a heart? You're the reason I won't want the world to end. From the ground we look like lightning. IDK if you're still grieving, or just choosing not to see it, but those are very big proclamations of love. And it's hard to differentiate between platonic, familial, romantic love when it's just words printed on your body. It gets especially confusing since you mention it's something you keep doing to this day. For Julia, I won't go so far as to say you're doing something wrong, but you should definitely think about how the memory of Julia is influencing your current relationships. Are you only honoring her memory? Or are you doing this as a sort of coping mechanism? Are these tattoos really for Julia? Or are they for you? Why do you feel the need to keep getting more? If your GF, or any future GF expressed discomfort and asked you to stop, would you? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Since these tattoos seem to be taking up a larger and larger part of your life. IDK, I'm just thinking that's a lot of lyrics to get tattooed. TBH, if you get a new one every single album, you really gonna fill in all your skin canvas space with text? Like, I get that part of why you get a new one every time is because you've been getting a new one every time so far. But like, you are allowed to step it back if that's what you want to do. I have a couple memorial tattoos, but they're not continuous projects. I'm gonna have more people I'll need to remember. That's how life works. I'd be worried I'd run out of space. TBH lol. I came in here ready to defend you. But there's a difference between, I have a memorial tattoo for my late best friend, and, I continually get tattoos in memory of my late best friend. Like, does getting more really benefit you? Or anyone? That much in any way? You could have stopped at one. Your girlfriend would probably not have an issue if you just had the one. You turned your own body into a living shrine for your loved ones that you've lost, and TBH, that's not necessarily healthy. If you're stuck in the past, how are you gonna appreciate the present? I think this is mostly a big incompatibility here. Personally, I don't mind all this, but I can see why someone would be uncomfortable, especially with the romantic undertones, even if they aren't intended. At this point, it's whether or not you can respect her boundaries on this, or if your needs, wants, interfere with that, in which case the relationship is over. She can have these boundaries just as much as you have the right to get whatever tattoo you want. Just look for people of like minds on serious subjects like this. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with either perspective. He wants to keep the memory of his friendship alive. She wants him to be able to move on. And she's herself as being able to help him do that. Sorry. I guess I'm not very helpful. Just observations. But neither one is in the wrong. It's all different life experiences. I guess you guys need a safe place, with a trusted person, or a therapist, to talk openly about it, without it turning into something that it shouldn't. Good luck. I hope that you manage to find a compromise. I have 2 tattoos that represent people I've lost. I've lost more, but these 2 are extremely important to me. First, I get where you're both coming from. Every time this band releases a new album, you're brought back to Julia. It's a connection that you're not gonna lose. Ever. You reflect on Julia and how she helped build you up. Dude, I get it. If I ever lose my best friend, then I'm going to struggle to find the perfect representation of her. But I wouldn't go getting a new tattoo from our favorite band every time they release a new album. To me, that's just excessive and unnecessary. Your girlfriend is seeing you get these new tattoos who represent a girl. A girl who, I might add, was not a girlfriend. That's going to be a kick in the jaw, no matter how you try to frame it. Does your girlfriend know the contexts of these new tattoos before you get them? Even if she did, look at it from her point of view. My boyfriend, fiancé, husband is getting a new tattoo of another girl. This is his 4th, 5th, 6th tattoo for her. But he's not getting one for me? Do I have to die to get him to get a tattoo for me? Quote, again, I'd find it highly unnecessary to go the route you did. I have 4 tattoos in total. The 2 I have that are in honor of people are the one I designed for my pregnant girlfriend who was murdered. It represents her and our child. She always swore we were having a girl. And my grandpa, who was extremely present in my life. The only time I will ever get a tattoo of a person is if it's family. My wife, my kids, or my best friend. And just one for each. I don't need many to represent the person I lost. You've portrayed to your girlfriend that Julia wasn't a friend as you claim. But a girlfriend and your obsessive need to get new tattoos from the band every time that they release a new album. And no woman isn't going to second guess you on that. How would you feel if your girlfriend got a new tattoo for a guy every time their favorite band released a new album and they look like lover lyrics outside of context? TLDR. You've been poking the hornet nest. Julia was my best friend and it was never romantic. Then it was an odd choice to get her name tattooed with an actual heart. When you get down to it, you have another woman's name permanently tattooed with a heart on your body. And you're continuing to get tattoos for this other woman. You're the reason I won't want the world to end. Definitely sounds romantic without context. By the way, it's way different than a handcrafted necklace hanging from a car mirror. I'm not saying getting these tattoos is wrong. You do you. Just keep in mind how it might look to others. You wrote that you're not thinking about Julia all the time. These tattoos are just tradition. But your GF has to think about Julia every time she sees these tattoos on you. She's reminded of some woman from your past who obviously meant a lot to you. And still does. The more you explain to her how deep your friendship with Julia was, the more your GF probably feels overshadowed and not heard. Have you listened to what her actual concerns are with the tattoos? Or do you jump straight to trying to explain yourself and placate her? I hope you two can overcome this. But it might be a deal breaker for her. And yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a deal breaker for some others in the future, too. But don't worry about that. These tattoos are important to you. So let them help filter out people you're less compatible with. I am really sorry for your loss. And I understand what you are saying about never being romantic with her, but I will try to respond from perspective of your GF. As a GF, in serious relationships that potentially leads to more years together and even becoming a family, your GF is supposed to be your number one person. Your number one woman you think about. Sorry for saying this in a harsh way, but all she sees constantly is you obsessing over a dead friend. And putting that friend emotionally in your heart above her. I can't imagine the sadness you feel about the loss, and it's nice that you still have her in your mind. But it is hurtful to your GF. It is saying to your GF, you are never going to have as high place in his heart as the lost friend. He is forever going to have her in mind as his soulmate. It's tough competing with someone who is no longer here. Does any of this make sense to you? Maybe someone more qualified, e.g. a therapist, could help you go through some of this emotional trauma you went through. You have to figure what's more important to you. Keep updating the tattoos or having a relationship with your girlfriend. If I was her, I wouldn't like it either. The lyrics are kind of romantic, and you already have tattoos for her. You have tattoos of Julia and other friends who have passed. That's cool. The tattoos help you cope with losing them. It is your grieving process. I get that. I don't have a problem with it. But I am not your GF. Your GF is upset that you have a ritual you follow for Julia. The question you have to ask yourself is, who are you going to choose? Because the likely outcome of this, if you don't stop, is that you are going to lose your GF. This upsets her, but you keep doing it knowing it upsets her, which probably upsets her more. You are essentially choosing a friend who has passed over your GF who is still alive. I'm not saying that is the wrong choice, but that is the choice you are making. Reflect on that choice. Your GF being upset by this is certainly not going to be unique. Some are going to be fine with it. Some aren't. So even if you find someone new, you might still find yourself in this situation. It also doesn't seem like you've really talked to your GF about why this upsets her. It is possible there is room for compromise or understanding here, from both of you. Your GF feels like she can't compete with a perfect dead woman. You should have stopped with the tattoos once you got with your GF. She will leave you eventually because it reads like your deepest abiding love is for the dead girl, not for the living one who can be your future. Wake up. I mean, I get why your girlfriend is upset. You got her name in a heart and a set or lyrics, which she was fine with. But you keep adding to your tattoos for another woman. She's living in the shadow of a dead woman. Even if she was just your friend, she doesn't feel like she's priority in your relationship if your tattoos are affecting your relationship. I honestly feel sorry for your girlfriend. I don't think you're wrong. My male BSF died before we could get our matching tattoos. I still took mine with his initials hidden in it and his sunrise and sunset dates. I also have one that represents my dad. You're a kind, caring person, and their death affected you. And this is how you grieve. Since today seems to be my day for swimming against the tide, I'm going to say, even though I understand why your girlfriend isn't really happy you keep getting new tattoos, I really admire your devotion. I try to keep my family and friends who have passed alive in my heart by thinking of them as often as possible. But you have really committed to keeping your memories of your friends alive. People always say, "Oh, I'll never forget so and so," but you have put your money where your mouth is. You are making a conscious effort to never forget. I'm not really a tattoo person, but I'm really impressed by your determination. I hope your girlfriend can understand that the loyalty you are showing your friends who have passed is the kind of loyalty you'll give her too. Best of luck.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.